Hello everyone, welcome back, hope you're doing well. In today's video we have another PlayStation 5. This one is a digital edition which has a power issue. So as I say, when you power or try to power this PS5 digital on, it's got a 3 or 2 second blue light of death, right? So we get the blue light and then it powers off again. What I have noticed on the back of this one is the casing has not been put back on properly, right? So, or the motherboard hasn't been put back in the casing correctly. So definitely has been opened. I believe this has already had an HDMI port replacement, hence why that's not back on properly. So let's get this one opened up and then take a look to see what is going on. Okay, so it hasn't been opened, which is interesting. I thought this already had been opened looking at the back of that. So I wonder if it's just a drop damaged issue then, because that label is genuine and good. Right, let's fast forward through me opening it up and then we will get down to the motherboard. Right, so with the motherboard out, CMOS battery's missing, which is really weird, right? Because this hasn't been opened, and this is the second time this has happened to me. If you want to check the CMOS battery's not rattling around inside, it's not, because as I say, I think this has had some kind of drop damage. CMOS battery's definitely not in there. We'll properly have a look when we take this apart to clean it out. But really weird that the CMOS battery is missing. All right, that wouldn't be the reason why it's not powering on. But this is the second time I've seen this, the CMOS battery missing. Anyhow, let's do a quick physical examination, or I should say visual examination of the motherboard. And the main reason being because this was bent, I think, where it's been dropped. But that does look okay to me, actually. So what I'm going to do is just pop this motherboard back in the chassis and then we will take some voltage readings. Yeah, see that? I think it has been dropped, but once that's screwed down, they all do align, right? So once that's screwed down, that all does align correctly. So this metal bottom case might have been bent very slightly. But as I say, let's take some voltage readings. Let's get our multimeter up on the screen. Right, let's add in our power cable. So black probe on ground, anywhere on ground. Come down here, we should have 12 volts, which we do. Up here, we should have 5 volts, which we do. Top leg of the third transistor down, we should have 3.3 volts, which we do. 3.29, close enough. Let's just check either side of F7002. We should have 5 volts either side. Yep, we do. Let's just check all of our voltages down here. Got 5 volts there, good. Should have 2 volts around here, which we don't have. Let me just quickly plug in the ribbon cables and try powering it on. Here we go, 2.5 and then off again. Right, I just want to check if the other side of the motherboard, how that looks. I've had a quick look earlier, so I'm just going to pop out the motherboard again. Right, so that's our power supply. What we're going to do, we're going to connect our leads up, so obviously getting the polarity around the right way. So negative and positive, and then we're going to apply 12 volts to the motherboard. So if you watch down here in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see 12 volts and the current should jump up to around 30 milliamps and then back down again, right? So let's apply the power now. There we go, it gets 12 volts, 30 milliamps, and then good, right, it drops back down again, right? You see the current drop back down again? So that means we are getting a correct boot sequence, which is good. So let's continue to read some voltages off this side of the motherboard. Actually, let's leave the power supply back on. Again, let's just give it some volts and then we'll come along with our probes and just do some reading from this side of the board. So up here we should have that 5 volts, which we do, which is good. Around here we should have 5 as well, either side of F7003, which we do. We know we're getting a boot sequence, so we know the BIOS IC is getting power. Should have 12 volts down here, which we do, which is good. Don't get any voltage there until we power up. This area here is the RAM power supply. We're not getting any voltages here. Let me just quickly buzz around in continuity mode, right? So I'm just going to turn the power off. Let's disconnect our power supply. I am going to put the multimeter into continuity mode now. And the reason I'm doing that is because quite often you do get shorts around here. So let's just make sure the multimeter is in the correct mode. Yep, now it is good. One side should beep, the other side shouldn't beep, which is good. Same around here, right? So we know that power supply is getting power. That's good. Yeah, that's what I thought, right? So we're getting pretty much 0 dead short ohms on the RAM power supply, which is a bit of a concern. Now that means, I'm guessing, that either the power supply is broken, got a fault, or one of the RAM ICs has got a fault. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hook up UART, all right, so we can get some proper readings from UART to see what error codes we get. So we'll hook up UART and see what error codes we get. So unfortunately, UART wasn't that helpful. We did get an error code, but it was error code 808.10001, which is basically a general power failure. So that could basically be anything across the board, right? However, there is this short here, right? So I think it's worth testing a little bit more. It should be beeping that side because that's ground, but this side here isn't ground. So I don't think it's the cap, but it's certainly worth probably, we can inject a little bit of voltage, right? Just a really low amount of voltage in here, just to see what, if anything, actually highlights as shorted. Right, so with our power supply hooked up, we're going to come in and just inject some voltage along here. We're going to check with our thermal camera, but none of that's heating up. Yeah, see that? Nothing's actually heating up there. Just take the power off, put the power back on again. Nothing's heating up. Anything else heating up around the board? No, that's just reflection. Oh dear. Looks like we've got an issue with the APU. I think this one will be game over. Yeah, let's just quickly jump under the microscope and just have a quick look in that top right hand corner of the APU. Right, here we are under the microscope. Let's just clear away this liquid metal and you can immediately see, unfortunately, this one is going to be game over because, I don't know if you can make that out on the microscope actually. Look at the top right hand corner of that die. Can you see that? All of this corner here is completely smashed, cracked. Right, so it's absolutely kaput, unfortunately. So yeah, game over. See that whole corner? Yeah, it's actually coming away even more. So unfortunately, you cannot fix them all. So there you go. This one will go to our donor stock, right? So can't be fixed. All right, the APU's cracked, and I think, you know, we saw earlier, didn't we, that it's been dropped, right? So because the ports didn't line up at the back. So obviously, I think that's been caused by some kind of drop damage to the console. So there you go. Hope that video was useful. Anyhow, unfortunately, it wasn't a fix this time, but as I say, you cannot fix them all, unfortunately. Still like to post these videos because, as I say, hopefully it'll be helpful to other people. That short there, I've seen that a couple of times, and it has always been the APU, unfortunately, even though this circuit is actually the circuit for the RAM on the back. There you go. Anyhow, hope the video was useful. If it was, please consider giving us a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to the channel. We're posting new videos every single week on Sundays. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.